All right. So Joe Biden, Joseph Robinette, emphasis on Robinette, Biden gave us a fact sheet. A fucking fact sheet. President Biden to sign historic executive order advancing LGBTQI. What about the A? So this is weird. Okay, so advancing LGBTQI. Now, first it was LGBT, all right. But then some people do LGBTQ. And then some people do LGBTQIA+. I've never heard of LGBTQI+. Like, we're going back now. Fuck the asexuals, get rid of them. We're going back. So, off to a good start. Equality during Pride Month. All right, so we got an executive order. Now, should it have been signed on January 21st, 2021? Yeah. But, all right, let's read. President Biden believes no one should face discrimination. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Executive order builds on the historic progress he has made for LGBTQI plus people by addressing discriminatory legislative attacks aimed against LGBTQI plus children and families, directing key agencies to protect families and children. Okay. So he's addressing that there's a problem and directing people to do something about the problem. Some people are going to do something about the problem. All right, I'll take it. Preventing so-called conversion therapy with a historic initiative to protect children from the harmful practice. I don't know why they're putting conversion therapy in quotes as if like that's like a hyperbolic situation or whatever, but anyway. Safeguarding healthcare and programs designed to prevent youth suicide. Okay, so my question is, are they going to do anything to overrule states like Alabama that have made trans healthcare for adults under the age of 19 a felony charge? Are they going to do anything about that? Like, I'm just saying, like, safeguarding healthcare, what does that mean? How are they actually going to safeguard the healthcare? Does anyone know? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Supporting LGBTQI plus children and families by launching a new initiative to protect foster youth, prevent homelessness, and improve access to federal programs, and taking new additional steps to advance LGBTQI equality. So we got some new additional steps. Great. We got some new additional steps. So half the country is declaring a war on trans people. We have literally paramilitary right-wing militias that are planning to fuck up Pride events. And now Joe Biden's taking new additional steps to advance our equality. Isn't that great? Addressing discriminatory legislative attacks. So he's addressing them. Okay, safeguarding healthcare. Because of discrimination and bullying, nearly half of queer youth, I use the word queer, by the way. I think that that's the way to go, seriously considered suicide last year. Queer people of all ages also face significant barriers to accessing healthcare, and queer patients face significant health disparities. To safeguard access to healthcare for queer patients and address queer youth mental health crisis, President Biden is charging HHS with taking steps to address the barriers and exclusionary policies that queer individuals and families face in access. Okay, so how, though? The president's order charges HHS to work with states to promote expanded access to gender-affirming care. Okay, but how? Working with states to promote, that doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't know, man. What does that mean? It also, remember in 2020 when the Democrats won the election? Reminder, Donald Trump lost. Do you remember the Equality Act? Remember that shit? Remember, because they passed it in the House or whatever when Trump was president. And they're like, we're going to an Equality Act. And remember that? Does anyone remember, like, the federal protection the Democrats said that they were going to get done? And then, like, Joe Biden assumes office and everyone just, oh, equality what? Okay, new guidance to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration on providing evidence-informed mental health care for LGBTQI plus youth. So something that's going to be undone the next time a Republican's in office with no lasting effects. Putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. Not even a Band-Aid, really. I mean, I don't know. All right, so we're going to support children and families. Family rejection could lead to disproportionately high rates of homelessness and overrepresentation in foster care. And for queer parents and households, significant barriers remain in accessing vital government benefits and services. Okay, so what will it do? Address discrimination and barriers faced by queer youth parents. Okay, so it's going to address them? What? Support families. Okay, that's great. What are they going to do? Okay. Directing HHS to expand access to voluntary family counseling. Expand access to counseling? So it's not going to be free. You're still going to have to pay for it. But now you might be able to pay for it instead of not being able to pay for it. Isn't that great? We got some access going on. Anyway, the president's executive order directs HHS to publish a Bill of Rights for queer older adults and a new guidance on non-discrimination protections for older adults in long-term care settings. It also charges HHS with exploring new rulemaking. So basically nothing is going on here. Let's be honest, nothing is really happening, and this is all going to be undone. Fighting for passage of the Equality Act. I'm going to read this. Oh, that's a red highlight on the White House website. That's interesting. Okay. President Biden continues to call on the Senate to swiftly pass the Equality Act legislation, which will provide long overdue federal civil rights protections to queer Americans and their families. So where is that, by the way? Is Joe Manchin just like a fucking raging bigot? What's the status on that? I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm very jaded. I see this and I see, oh, President Biden's doing like a big speech about how he loves the queers, and then nothing's actually going to happen. And any good that could come out of this is just going to be undone by the next Republican president. So, I don't know. I'm skeptical. But, I mean, I think it's great that the president acknowledges that queer people shouldn't be genocided. I think that's great. But, like, having people giving people access to fucking something is just not, that's not, I don't know, man. He's addressing that states are being mean. I saw in Alabama that they were saying that it's a felony. And I'm going to walk down there and say, that's bad. And that's basically what this executive order says to me. Is it's not doing anything. But he wants you to think that he cares. I don't know, man. Maybe I am too jaded on this. But also, I see the rest of the real world. And I think, yeah, not nearly enough. But that's just me. I don't know. And so anyway, this is the Republican response. Apparently there's a task force. Kamala Harris announces launch of White House task force to stop online gendered disinformation abuse. So every time someone calls me a tranny in my YouTube comment section, Kamala Harris's task force is going to be on the case. Because I'm in. All right. Save me. Save me, Kamala. Vice President Kamala Harris announced the launch of a task force to address online harassment and abuse Thursday at the White House. Harris praised the task force in her remarks. So the task force is now in existence, and she's already praising them. Like, I want, like, every time, like, a Nazi, like, calls me a tranny in my YouTube comments, I want, like, someone to reply to them and go, like, this is so-and-so, like, fucking whatever the name is, from the White House Task Force on Gender Disinformation, and we're here to tell you to cut it out! That's what I want to hear. I want Kamala Harris to be my white knight in my YouTube comments. That's what I want. So the task force, day one, and we're already getting praise. Out the gate with praise. All right. means for societal progress, saying no one should have to endure abuse just because they're attempting to participate in society. Now, again, I can say this as a trans person on the internet. Literally every single day, I get dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people wishing death on me, like trying to find out where I live so that they can kill me, right? Spamming my shit, trying to like hack me and steal my stuff, call me a tranny everywhere, you know. Every day. This is a daily situation. So, Kamala Harris, I'm ready. Where's this task force? Please, back me up. I need reinforcements out here. A memo on the task force released by the White House condemned gendered disinformation and proclaimed the administration will be developing programs and policies to address online harassment, abuse, and disinformation campaigns targeting women and LGBTQI+ individuals who are public and political figures, government and civic leaders, activists, and journalists in the United States and globally. The memo suggested that online harassment has devastating costs for democracy itself by undermining people's ability to exercise their human rights and participate in democracy, governance, and civic life. There's a term in the trans community that people use. It's called stealth. You may or may not have heard this term. It is where someone who has transitioned will literally erase all traces of their former identity and literally just live a new life entirely. Like, you know, usually people are disowned from their families when this happens. They get entirely new lives, new friends, whatever, and they just don't tell anyone that they're trans. And why would they want to do that? Because literally at any point participating in society, if you tell someone that you're trans, they could kill you. I've read many stories of people that I've spoken to online of like someone who's, stealth trans woman, going out with someone for 6 months. Everything's great, right? They're really into one another and, it's great relationship. Everything's good. And then they talk, then all of a sudden there's a conversation about how we need to get these trannies away from kids. And if we have kids, we'll never, let the trannies near our kids. And then it's like, oh shit, you never know. Right? When someone that you're in any relationship to at all is just going to be a raging bigot that would want to kill you. Right? And so for a lot of trans people, they go stealth. And that is its own difficulty. Right? Because again, you're making the bet that no one's going to find out that you're trans. And, I don't blame people for going stealth. I mean, in my personal life, I don't tell anyone that shit. Why? Because I don't want to fucking get shot and killed. But anyway, right, so, just being trans or gay in any public scenario, you're going to have to deal with this fucking shit. And so, the idea that there's a White House task force that's going to be, they're on the case. Jesus fucking Christ. A task force? Really? That's it? And then again, I'm reading this on Fox News. Why? Because I want to know what the right's going to say about this. They're just making fun of it. The right literally just pretends that there is no harassment. While right-wingers will harass the shit out of you, they will tell you you have equal rights and there's no harassment. It happens all the time in my comment section. If you look at any comment section on any, queer-related subject that I cover, you're going to see people tell me, oh, the queer people have too many rights, you stupid fucking tranny. There's no such thing as harassment, you stupid fucking tranny. You can just see it. They're just fucking with us. That's the thing, is they don't care. There is no care in the world at all. And then we have this photo, which is great. It went on to claim online abuse and harassment, which aim to preclude women from political decision-making about their own lives and communities, undermine the functioning of democracy. That's true. But just saying that, are you going to do anything about it? And then there's the second layer. Let's assume you can do anything about it. What are you going to do? For someone like me, right, that is a YouTuber, and I'm not even that big. I'm not famous, right? I've got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. And literally every day I get death threats. Every day I get people like harassing the shit out of me. So what is this task force going to materially do for someone like me in my position, right? Or someone that is going to work every day, right? And getting harassed for being trans or gay? Like what is that? What is this task force going to do? Like, I'm serious. Like, what? The director of the White House Gender Policy Council and the assistant to the president on national security affairs will lead the interagency efforts to address online harassment, abuse, and specifically focus on technology-facilitated gender-based violence, and to develop concrete recommendations to improve prevention, response, and protection efforts through programs and policies in the United States and globally. So what does that mean? Literally, like, what, the material effect, what is that? What does that mean? They're going to take steps to address what? Like, what? Like, seriously, they, like, Kamala Harris use, and, you know, the White House broadly, and Democrats broadly, they use queer rights as like a cudgel. They say, oh, we're doing something about it, right? And then cisgender or straight people, right, are going to look at that and see, oh, Joe Biden's really doing what he can. And then meanwhile, living in America being trans or gay or whatever, and nothing's going to change. Like, we're just, like, we just have to be told by cis people that we have equal rights while we live every day and no, we don't. Right? That's the thing that's crazy about it, right? Is it's like, it's the gaslighting from all of society. It's just every direction is gaslighting, right? Every group is telling you that, you know, you're not actually experiencing inequality. You have equal rights. You have more rights than me. Like, you have straight people that say gay people have more rights than me, or men that say like women have more rights than me. And it's like, bro, what fucking planet are you living on? Like, if you think that transgender people have more rights than you, I want you to try to transition. Like, you don't have to take hormones or anything, but go through the process. Genuinely, I'd like you to try. Go through the process of trying to get prescribed hormones and tell me how we have infinite free rights. I'm just curious. Like, I would love to see you do that. Go, like, just pretend to be gay and go to Alabama and get a job at Applebee's and tell everyone you're gay. You don't have to be gay. You don't have to suck dick. Just tell everyone you're gay and see what happens. Fucking equal rights, my asshole, dude. Although Harris mentioned concern about white supremacy online and privacy protection for abortions in her remarks, neither she nor the memo mentioned far-left Antifa groups doxing politics. Jesus Christ. Dangerous leftist activity. Fox News is so fucking stupid. Former Congress, who cares? Leftist trolls. Jesus Christ. They're making this about TERFs. And that's the thing, is right-wingers are going to see this, and they're going to just attack trans people more. Like, this gives the right wing more ammo, because they're going to be like, oh, the White House, they're protecting the trannies, so now we got to attack the trannies even more. And then, meanwhile, their task force isn't even doing anything. So all they're doing is they're raising the attention of an issue, not doing anything about it, and then going like, aren't we so brave? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's insane. Anyway, so, you know, they're going to try to take credit for this. They're going to tell us that they're saving the world and the trainees got to thank them. Oh, please look up to me. And then it's like, okay, what have you done for me? What has Kamala Harris or Joe Biden actually done for me? Nothing! They will continue to do nothing, but they'll claim credit for being great. Meanwhile, they're just going to exacerbate the problems. Now again, if Kamala Harris and their task force and the White House's executive orders actually did stuff to actually help real people, then it's like, whatever, I don't care about like the reactionaries. But the problem is they're not doing anything, and they're just fueling the reactionaries, so the reactionaries are going to get more hateful. And there's nothing to counterbalance it other than, oh, look at how great we are. We acknowledge queer people shouldn't be killed. So, can you give us a present? It's bizarre. And it's like, okay, There's going to be a task force to combat online harassment campaigns against queer people. Great! I'm ready! Like, hit me up! You want my phone number? Like, I mean, I have a lot to say. Like, and again, I am not even famous. I have 10,000 YouTube subscribers. That's nothing! That's nothing! Imagine being someone that has like 100,000 YouTube subscribers and they're trans. Imagine someone with 1 million YouTube subscribers and they're trans. Imagine the shit they have to put up with. I have had people literally send SWAT teams to my house to attempt to execute me because I'm transgender. What is this board, this task force? What are they going to do about that? What are they going to do about police being discriminatory against transgender people when they demand to see your identification and then see that you're a tranny and then make fun of you and leave you out in the cold even though someone like committed a crime against you and then they don't take rape seriously? What are they going to do about that? Nothing. What are they going to do about when you go to get a new job and then someone looks into your background and finds out that, you know, you were the opposite gender that you are now and then decides not to hire you, and then you go to every other company or every other employer in your small Republican town, and they all know the same because they all talk to each other, and then you can't get a job, and then you can't pay rent, and then you're homeless. What are they going to do about that? Nothing! They're going to do fucking nothing at all. Like, in my opinion, online harassment campaigns, that's the least of my concerns. That's the fucking least of my concerns. Right? I am way more concerned about real world violence being inflicted upon me or people like me than I am about someone calling me a tranny in a YouTube comment section. But the thing is, we have to understand, like, that is step 1 of the pipeline. Calling someone a tranny on YouTube comment section is step 1. Step 10 is sending a SWAT team to their house to try to get them killed, right? And that's happened to me. And that's happened to a lot of people. And a lot of people have been, like, on the receiving end of violence from the state at the behest of neo-Nazis in online harassment campaigns. And are they going to do anything about it? No. They're giving more money to police, right? They're not, like, they don't care at all. Democrats don't care at all. At all. They have 0% care in the world, but they care enough about, like, people perceiving that they might care that they're going to make the problem worse. And that's just, like, the liberal brain worms. But what about the Equality Act? You're telling me Joe Manchin doesn't want trans people to have equal rights? Why is that? Why don't you talk about that on a daily basis and pressure him to pass the Equality Act? They're not going to do that. They don't care. At all. Because if they did, they wouldn't do shit like this.